we go. Is
That's
that you?
it.
Got
Thank
it?
you.
Okay. So nice to see you. There's Suzanne as well. Susan Guest. Hello. Nice to see you. Anybody else got any anything they've been up to report back on? Sasha, let us know.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah,
Hi, Gemma.
good. I've had a haircut.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, I actually landed a new job as a presenter for a new startup company to do with luxury brands in the prize draw space.
Mm-hmm.
So that should be starting in about a month's time. I got through about 100 applicants to get that job.
Well done,
So
you.
very, very proud of myself. It's me and another male presenter. And it's all to do with like luxury prize draw competitions, cars and houses and all that sort of thing. Yeah, I applied for it like last August and I didn't hear anything at all. They said they put me in a folder for interested people. And then they got back in touch January and asked if I was still interested. I didn't know they were just looking for one presenter at the time. I thought they were looking for a few. So yeah, I went to my first casting in like a year, a while ago, and it felt so good to get back out and do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I went to another casting, and then they told me that I'd got the job. So I'm really excited about that. Not sure where it's going to lead, but at least it's an opportunity.
That's right.
We will see what happens with
Good
that.
stuff. Keep us up to date with it. It's
we'll do.
great. And this is really what I wanted to talk to you guys today, and have more of a discussion. Really, these webinars, you know by now, me. It's I do talk a bit too much sometimes, but it is really it's an interaction, so we can talk about stuff and see how everything's going and get some information and tips. And it seems to me, just from the few people I've spoken to, that there is stuff happening. There is movement in the industry, and one of the things that is very apparent to me, I know somebody who actually did an interview with quite a high-profiled celebrity, and was in talks with the agent for quite a long time, and then put the interview out there and was just not getting a response from this agent, and thought, oh no, she didn't like it. The celebrity didn't like it, the agent didn't like it, worry. And you know what actually had happened is, I believe the presenter actually had been ill. She'd been ill, and actually quite poorly. And so all the worries and concerns were, the agent and the presenter's focus was just on getting better and making sure everything was okay. The point I'm trying to make here is, as a performer, you don't know what is going on in the office of the agent or the producer or the casting director. And so what do? You start making stuff up. We've all done it. I've done it. And it's generally negative stuff. Why do we do that? It's like, oh, they didn't like it. They're not interested in me. They didn't like my look, my hair, my sound, the way I am. I'm not good enough. It's all those little insecurities that we have. But actually, just as Sasha's been saying, that original interview or audition was kind of like a year ago. I thought, oh yeah, no, they didn't like me. I wasn't right for it. I'm not saying that that's what you were thinking to yourself, Sasha, but lots of us do think those sort of things. You just don't know what's happening in that office, in that production, and what process of that audition or structure they're at. So never give yourself a negative story, I think, is the little moral of that. It's kind of, you don't know. I've heard of so many stories where, I mean, if you actually think about some of the most successful people out there, I know this isn't presenting, but I was watching or heard about a documentary on this Friends reunited things. Anybody like Friends? Yep. Yeah. Well, we all like Friends, don't we? And apparently David Schwimmer had auditioned for something and hadn't got the job because he'd come from theatre. He'd auditioned for this TV. He wasn't getting anywhere with TV. So I thought, I'm going to give up with TV because I'm not getting anywhere with it. I'm going to stay just doing like regional theatres and see how far I can get with that. And what he didn't know is that the casting directors, agents, and people who had seen him absolutely loved him. They loved him, but he just wasn't right for this part that they were casting. He just was, you know, just not what they had in mind and not what they wanted. And then when Friends came around, apparently the writers who had seen the audition tapes, the original audition tapes, actually in part wrote Ross's character around David Schwimmer because they liked him that much. He didn't know that. He was giving up. You don't know what is going on. You really, really don't. So it's about not giving up and keeping going. And so let's just talk a little bit about the theme of today's webinar. And it is, well, we're going to talk about making luck and how you make luck. And then we're going to touch on the branding, and then we're going to touch on getting regular work to pay bills and stuff like that, because things are happening. Productions are coming back to they're getting very active now, so let's take advantage of it. Now, I hear it all the time that you've got to be really lucky to be a presenter or a performer in general, and some people just have bad luck, so the industry is closed and you can't get anywhere. And I just simply don't believe that. It's not true. It's a matter of just making your own luck. Now, I have people come to me. I've worked with hundreds and thousands of potential presenters. And sometimes they come back to me and they say, oh, Brian, I've done everything you've said and it's just not working. It doesn't work. You know, it's a load of rubbish. I go, okay, so who have you written to? Well, I wrote to a casting director. Did you? What else have you done? Well, then I joined Star Now. Did you? Did you join? Well done. Excellent. And then what else have you done? You've been to a networking event. Well, I went to one. Yeah, it was rubbish. Didn't see anybody there. Just rubbish. So I've done everything. Go, okay, that sort of attitude. Yes, you're right. You're never going to get anywhere unless you are incredibly lucky. That's what you are holding out for. You are literally buying one lottery ticket and basing your entire career on that one lottery ticket. It's not the game we're in, I'm afraid, guys. It's competitive and you have to prove yourself. So constantly doing stuff is the answer to making your own luck. Constantly making content, constantly writing to people. It's not about writing once to a casting director. It's about updating them. I think we've spoken about this. What have you been doing? Let them know. They want to know, but they're busy people. And it was, I think it was Karen, actually, our presenter agent, who says, just do contact me because I'm busy. Things get put aside. It's not right at the moment, but you never know what's going to come up through the door next. I have to tell you, I got sent an audition from my agent this week. I gracefully turned it down because it really wasn't me. They wanted me to play the character of a gentleman in tenor man pants and dance around with these incontinence pants. Now, you know, that's fine, but I don't think it's really for me, if I'm honest. So I said, no, look, thanks, buddy. Thanks for thinking about me. But it's really, not, I mean, it paid quite good money, but not enough for me to dance around in my undies. Although I could do it for you now, if you like. Anybody fancy that? Yeah. No, Derek's turning off, but actually Susan looked quite interested. So you never know. Swings and roundabouts, isn't it? But it is about constantly doing it over and over again. And this is it, when you're not working as a performer, as a presenter, well, do you know what? Your work is to market yourself, is to be your own agent, is to be going to networking events. Now things are opening up, going to networking events, doing webinars, constantly having a finger in the pie or a foot in the game. And sooner or later, that person will find that they get a bit of luck, okay? Luck isn't gonna come by sitting in front of the TV with a pizza watching Coronation Street. Nobody gets much luck as a performer by doing that, okay? So, I mean, we've all got to relax. I'm not saying you can never do that and you've got to work yourself to death, but I'm saying there is a balance about being quite disciplined with yourself. And that's hard sometimes. It's really easy to just get not lazy, but lethargic and going down that sort of spiral. It's a slippery slope. So even if you are doing one thing a week at the moment, do it constantly, because it keeps your head in the game. It keeps you going. And then to do another one isn't so hard. And then if something else comes up, doing that isn't so hard if you're already doing stuff. But if you've sat there for 3 months and have not been active, have not had that hat on, that sort of your head in the whole performance thing, then kicking yourself into action to actually get up in the morning and go and do something can be really hard work. It's like a struggle. So don't let yourself get that, even if it is just a YouTube channel, content for your YouTube, doing a live Facebook or whatever it might be. Discipline yourself to start with. It's little baby steps to start with, but discipline yourself to doing it every week. Just say to yourself, just do it. Just say to yourself right now, okay, I'm going to do that. Every week I am going to do an Instagram live. If you're not doing anything at the moment, every week I'm going to do an Instagram live, a Facebook live, a YouTube video, podcast, whatever it might be. And I'm going to stick to it. Even if it's just 10 minutes, I'm going to make myself do it. If you're already doing that, start another little project, do another one, or double up on the content you're doing, or challenge yourself and say, right, I'm going to write to a new producer every week, or a new presenting agent every week, or a new whatever every week. So it would be like, it doesn't matter who it is, as long as you're connecting with people and getting involved. So John, for example, I'm sure John has to send lots of letters, send lots of emails, write to people, ask people, can I interview you? Can I be involved? Can you give me an interview with one of the actors on this, that, or the other? It's not as easy as just doing an hour's YouTube interview content or whatever it might be. There's all that work behind there. So challenge yourself to do a little bit more of that. Give yourself a set hour every week and say, right, every hour I'm going to, every week I'm going to give myself an hour and dedicate that to admin, say, or whatever that might be. Now, that person who is constantly doing that is constantly in front of the camera, putting stuff out there, getting views, getting comments, getting seen, that you're on the radar. Sooner or later, that person will get a bit of luck somewhere. That luck will come. It will be, maybe it's just a comment from someone that develops into something, or maybe somebody sees it and shows it to a friend who's a producer. Oh, have you seen this person? This is, you literally don't know where that luck is going to come. But the more you do it, the more luck you get. It was a lovely story. I think it was Jack Nicholson. They used to do a lot of pro celebrity golf tournaments. And Jack Nicholson used to do incredibly well on these. You know, the famous Hollywood actor, Jack Nicholson. He did incredibly well. He was winning so much and was just absolutely nailing it on the golf course. And one competitor said to him, you know, Jack, you're so lucky with these, aren't you? You know, you do so well. You're really lucky. And Jack, in his way, said, yeah, he goes, you know, the more I practice, the luckier I get. And it's kind of right. So actually, there's a lot of hard work behind that so-called luck. But it's how we perceive things. It's how we see other people just being plucked out of obscurity and going, oh, they were lucky. No, they weren't. They've been at it for years and years and years, almost indefinitely. That they would have been working their butt off to get where they are. There's always exceptions. There's exceptions to everything that I ever say. And if you look hard enough online, if you look hard enough around the world, you will find somebody who literally did get lucky and get pulled out of obscurity. But don't wait for that. Don't wait, because that is literally like buying a lottery ticket and thinking, you know, that's going to be my career. It will happen. The phone's going to ring any minute. The phone's going to ring. There's a long wait for that phone to ring, I'll tell you. So make your own luck. Get out there. Go to networking events. Go do online stuff. Make your own content. Write stuff. Can't tell you how important that is for the creative process, for you to really get your head around, you know, what is performance? What is the point of what we're doing as presenters, as performance? Why are we doing it? I mean, surely the information that that we're talking or saying can be found somewhere else online, can't it? You can actually find some text somewhere and just read it. So why are the audience actually watching you? Or why are you here? Why are you watching me talk about this? Undoubtedly, you could probably find a document somewhere if you searched hard enough online, and then you could read that in your own time. Well, actually, it's more interesting. It's an entertainment value. It's hearing it from the horse's mouth. It's banging ideas. You get a completely different feel for the subject matter when you're listening to somebody talking about it. You're getting opinions and ideas and angles and twists. And that's what you have to bring to the table. If you are just a talking head, as it were, who can talk competently, that's great. There is bread and butter jobs that you might get, and we're going to come onto that in a moment, because that is your bread and butter. But to go on and become really successful and make decent money, I really do think you've got to be more creative. You've got to come up with your own stuff, write stuff down, get an idea of what you really have to offer. Okay. And let's be honest, with technology, where technology is going, I just think that if I just want a presenter to say, I don't know, welcome to the website, we've got this, that, and the other, the buttons are below, and whatever, and that's what I want, sooner or later, I'm not even going to need to employ a presenter to do that. Even now, I can just almost get a graphically animated talking head. And when they come up with programs that do that really, really well, then that bread and butter, people are sort of going for, is going to get even more rare and even harder. Because if I want a competent presenter, guess what? These graphically animated ones, they don't forget their lines, or they don't turn up late, or they don't have a bad day, or any of that stuff. And most of them don't need paying that much either. And they don't need studios to film it and cameras and all the rest of it. So sooner or later, that work is going to gently whittle away, in my opinion. So then what have you got to offer? What will you have to offer if you are just a competent presenter? So having a specialist area, I think, is key if you're serious about being a presenter, a speaker, an expert, or whatever it is. For example, I mean, going back to John, just because John was talking, we all know that John's area is film and directing and looking into films and actors and getting the nitty gritty behind the scenes sort of business of motivations and what's the next thing. And that's his passion and that's his brand. And we know that. And anybody who looks at his YouTube channel or his website or Facebook page or anything like that will know that as well. He's got something to offer when that bread and butter work dries up. He's still in the game. He's established, he's got something to offer. And that's where you need to be as well. You need to be thinking, okay, what is it that I have to offer? Let's talk a little bit more about how to brand yourself and make sure that you have got something to offer and give yourself the best possible chance. At this point, 20 minutes in, Facebook, I'm going to say goodbye to you, you lucky people, you, eh? 20 minutes free. It's free in the members area as well for a lot of you guys anyway. So, but come and join us. Go to the new website, presenteracademy.com. Join the members area and you can continue watching. See you later, Facebook. We'll be back next week. So there we go. There's a little carrot for the Facebookers. So yeah, let's just recover then the branding side of things. And a lot of people, when they first start, think, well, I haven't really got a specific brand. I don't really know what it is I want to do. And this is difficult then. It's kind of like, well, actually, what are your passions? What things do you watch on TV? When you've got time, do you listen to music? When you put YouTube on, what videos do you gravitate towards? What's the theme of the stuff that you're genuinely interested in? If you haven't got an expertise, what is it that you like doing? Because you're going to need to pick something that you like doing. You don't want to be slogging away at, I don't know, health supplements when you just couldn't care less about it. That's hard work. Nobody wants that. That's just like a slog. But if you really love books, I don't know, drama, is it drama books? What are they called? fictional books, then great, fine. If that's your passion, then start making little YouTube videos reviewing the books that you read. It literally is that easy, guys. And then that might develop, and you might think, oh, I'm going to start specializing in this area or that area of literature, because there's a lot of people out there who seem to enjoy it and are watching and are following me. So whatever your passions are, what hobbies are, your interests, just start making little YouTube videos. And we always say this, go ugly early. You've heard me say that before. Look at me. I am a shining example of going uglier. Derek, that laughing is far too much. Thank you very much. That little bit of humor there didn't deserve such a big laugh. But yes, go ugly early. And that just means it doesn't have to be perfect. It won't be perfect when you first start. And that's a fear for somebody putting stuff out there, because it's like, whoa, I'm putting stuff out onto the internet and it's not perfect. Goodness, am I going to get criticized? Or if you don't start somewhere, you will never start. So give it a good bash and put it out and just see. And don't big it up too much. Don't say this is brilliant advice on whatever it is you're talking about. Just sort of underplay it a bit if that's your personality. Just sort of say, I had a few thoughts on latest book or latest whatever gardening techniques, or who knows what it is your passion is. But I had a few thoughts on that. Would love to hear your comments. Comment below and put your first video out and just see what people come back with. You might not get anything. You might get people going, I think, they're all shouting at you saying it's rubbish, it's nonsense, and you don't know what you're talking about. Well, that's great, because people are they'll watch the next one. They will, because people like nothing better than having a good old moan. I'm the same. Do you know what? I listen to James O'Brien on LBC when I'm driving down to Tunbridge Wells once a week. Drives me mad, that man, sometimes. Some of what he says is great, but what I don't like about him, I'm getting wound up just thinking about him. What I don't like about him is he's a professional presenter who's been on the radio for years and years and years, and a journalist. And then people come on, and I know what it's like when you first go on live on air as just like a normal person who's got an opinion, and they go on and he just steamrollers them. If it doesn't land his opinion, he steamrollers them. And it's kind of like, you bully. You're a bully in disguise, because he knows he has the upper hand. That's my opinion. So it drives me mad listening to him, and he knows what he's doing. But the reason he's doing it is it's controversial. And people, idiots like me, go, oh, for God's sake, I found myself in the car shouting at him, telling him to do certain things which aren't very pleasant. Anybody watching me in a traffic jam would be going, that bloke's a nutter. But yeah, anyway, they're probably right. So even if people don't agree with you, the point I'm making there, it doesn't matter if they're shouting at you and they're screaming at the YouTube channel or the radio or whatever it might be, they'll be back. They will listen again, and you're building your audience. And as long as you're coming from a good place, I always say this, and I truly believe it. If you are coming from a good place, a place of decency, moral decency, a place of respect for everyone, then your opinions are valid. They really are. If you think it should be Brexit in, Brexit out, well, I've said that before. Fine, can be. Yeah, I'll be interested to know why you think that, even if I don't agree with you. If you just dislike a group of people for something they have no control over, ugly, 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 don't make videos. Go and watch Coronation Street with a pizza. That's my advice to you. Okay. But as long as you're not coming from that place, an ugly, horrible place, your opinions are interesting, even if I don't agree with them, your angle. And that's what actually, that's why we like watching people talk about their areas of interest, speciality, because we get their sort of twist on it. We get their angle on it. And it's only by doing it over and over again on things like YouTube or whatever platform you've got, radio, podcasting, it's all good, that you find a freedom in a way to really, truly be yourself. When you first start in front of cameras, in front of microphones, it's a bit uncomfortable, and you hold back and you don't say what you really think for fear of people saying this, that, or the other. I literally, I'm honest with you guys. I say whatever I think. I don't hold anything back. I tell you what my opinions are, what my thoughts are. But that takes a little bit of time to have that total comfortableness with yourself. And you should have, because that is your biggest selling point. The stuff, your passions, the things that you get annoyed about, the things that make you upset, the things that make you laugh, the things that you think are insignificant. It's all fine as long as you're genuine and you're coming from a good place. It's all good. It's fine. So having that confidence comes with going ugly early and getting used to talking to people, or getting used to talking to cameras, having microphones. And you'll find then after a little while, you have a liberty, a freedom to truly be yourself, because you're bulletproof. And you are bulletproof if you're honest, and you've got no horrible ugliness inside and hatred for people for no reason. You're bulletproof. You can say, yeah, I believe that because of this, that, or the other. I've got my experiences, my opinions, my angles, and you're entitled to them. Okay. And if you offend somebody, and you might, who was it that said, oh, Ricky Gervais said, some people are offended by equality. So if I'm talking about equality and I offend somebody, they're not in the right, are they? Am I going to worry about that? I know I'm coming from a good place. So, okay, you're offended. Nothing happens. It's not like you've got to go to the doctor the next day. Oh, I'm offended. I've got to go to the doctor. No, you just choose to be offended. So fine. So don't worry too much about all those things, all those insecurities. Oh, what if I say the wrong thing? Well, if you're coming from a good place, there is no wrong thing. It's your opinion, which is fine. You're entitled to it. And as long as you can answer and explain your opinions or thoughts, there's nothing to hide. There is literally nothing to hide. You are bulletproof. So start it. Go ugly early, guys. I would love, is anybody not doing anything at all at the moment? And if you are, that's absolutely fine. It's not a judgment. If you're yet to start, okay, that's good. Will you do me a favor? There's one or two of you. Do me a favor. Yeah, I would love to see a 5-minute little video on your, just 5 minutes of you talking about something you're interested in. Could be 2 minutes. I don't care. Yeah, just start on YouTube, on Facebook, on whatever. When you do that, will you send me a link? I would love to see that. If you haven't done anything yet and you're yet to start, do me a favor, because I would love to see you actually start that process. And it's so important. And I know it is, because you will just get better and stronger, and you'll build an audience, and you've started the progress. The first little one is the hardest. Okay. So just be yourself and chat about your subject. Give a few ideas, opinions. Let me know why you think what it is you're talking about is important or not important, or annoys you, or whatever it might be. Will you do that for me? Lovely. Brilliant. I will look for that link. All right. I will be waiting for that. Super. So where are we? So yeah, getting your social media right as well. I know I have talked in the past about making sure that you get the right sort of keywords and get the right angle on the subject of your choice. So you can do that by going on and looking at things like keyword planners. So let's say that you are into churches. I don't know, churches in the UK, and it's a passion, and you're going around and you're talking and just sort of doing a little review of churches around the countryside or wherever. They could be in cities, doesn't matter. Go onto YouTube, find a keyword planner, and find out how many people are searching for interesting churches in the countryside. Looking for churches with, I don't know, spirals or steeples, or what do they have? What do churches have? They don't have bells, do they? Oh, they do have bells. Yeah, churches with bells, bell towers in the UK. And go to the keyword planner and find out how many searches are for different things about your subject. Because when you find the biggest one, the biggest keyword, so you've got something that has got like 10,000 people watching or searching for this term every month, then what you can do is angle your videos around the most popular key term, because you know that's got a lot of people looking for it. So if you do your videos with titles around that particular keyword, then it's more likely it's going to be found. It's got a bigger audience. So is that clear? Do you know what I'm talking about there? So if I say churches in the countryside has 5,000 people searching for it every month, and then I'd search for churches with bell towers, and there's 150,000 people searching for that term, then I'm going to do a video on churches with bell towers, because I know there's a much bigger audience looking for that. Make sense? So do some keyword research and then start angling your videos, especially for YouTube, on that. If you do things like how to, or what are the top 5 bell towers in the UK or stuff like that, there are organic video searches, places on the front page of Google for certain keywords. So if you go to a Google search and you find that if you come up, there's a number of videos. So if you put TV presenter training in Google, you should see a number of things from what we do. So TV Training Academy will come up, and you'll almost certainly see some videos there from my YouTube channel as well. And depending on the day, every one of those videos might be one of mine on TV presenter training. So, and that doesn't cost me anything. So anybody looking for TV presenter training and those things come up on my, it doesn't cost me anything, but that's only because the titles and the descriptions are relevant to those big keywords. Yeah. And that's free advertising. That's free views to your online content. And don't forget, again, make people or ask people to sign up, subscribe, because you want to build your following, and give them a reason. I can't tell you how important it is to say, sign up, hit the like button, and then say because, and give them a reason to sign up. Because makes a huge difference when it comes to influence. Influential language is, I'm going off on one now, but influential language is something that I find really interesting. And the granddaddy of influential when it comes to marketing stuff is a guy called Robert Cialdini. So everything you see in the supermarket is based around his work from years and years and years and years ago. It's about limited availability. It's about perceived value. It's about a social acceptance or social. If it seems like loads of people are into it, then you've got a better chance of doing it. But one of the things Robert Cialdini did, he did an experiment in a library. So this was in a library, and it was a controlled situation. And he sent an actor, a stooge, with a certain line to the photocopier queue. And the first week, or the first part of the experiment, was, do you mind if I push in? Same place in the queue every time. Do you mind if I push in? And as you might expect, he got like a 3 or 4% success rate of people going, yeah, sure, okay, no worries. But most people went, no, get lost. He then repeated the exercise, same person, same actor, with a slightly altered script, which was, do you mind if I push in because I'm in a hurry? And as you might expect, that percentage of success went up to around 46, 47%. So almost half the people were happy to let him in. He then repeated the exercise again with the set phrase, do you mind if I push in because I have to make photocopies? Now everybody's in the queue is making photocopies. It's a queue for the photocopier. So you might expect that to go back down to 2 or 3%. It didn't. It stayed up there in the 40% range. Okay. So that word because is a real influence when it comes to having people do what you're asking them to do, and that you give them, if they feel like they've had a reason to do it, then they're very, very much more likely, even if that reason is completely arbitrary and doesn't make any sense at all, it still works. So subscribe to my channel, give me a like, because I'm going to be making many more of these videos and really getting into the nitty gritty details of churches and bell towers. Oh, right then, subscribe. Yes, I will. Okay, so get your subscribers up by doing that, but start it. If you haven't started already, start. Do that for me. Lovely. Okay. So when you've done that, it's again then getting out there and then contacting the right people. Don't think if you've got if you're getting work on adverts and training videos and then doing safety videos, corporate videos, and all the rest of it, don't think that if you've got an expertise or a brand that you are taking yourself out of that game. You're not. You're still in that game, but you're also in the other game of your speciality. So you can still apply for bread and butter jobs. It's just you also are developing your area of expertise. You want to become the go-to person, or as much as you possibly can be, for your area. So the go-to person of here. So if I had a selection of presenters in front of me, and I do, and they're all brilliant presenters, I know they are, because I've seen you, and I think, oh, right, what I'm going to be doing is I'm making a documentary on filmmaking and films, and I've got equally brilliant presenters in front of me, but actually John has got a lot of experience talking to those doodahs and actors, and he knows what. Do you know what? He's going to just stand out like a beacon. I'm not going to be able to stop thinking about him and his marketing and his show reel because of that speciality. Okay, that doesn't mean to say if I'm doing a video on the process of going to get your COVID jab and what to expect or something. I don't know if they've made that video, but if I was making that video, then it doesn't matter. It's not saying, oh no, John, he does a lot of film work and works with actors, so he's no good. No, I wouldn't think that. I would just think, oh, he's a good, he's got as much chance as anybody else because he can present to the camera effectively. So you're not taking yourself out of the lineup, but you are starting to develop that brand, and it's really, really important to start doing that. So with your content, start sending it to people who are in the area of your interest. That's the first step, isn't it? So you need that show reel, of course, or it's at least a few clips, and keep it short as well. Keep it really short, but get a few clips of just really good bits. Even if it's 30 seconds, it's better than nothing. But around about 2 minutes is ideal. Well, that's probably a minute and a half these days is probably more than enough, as long as it's got a bit of variety there. And start sending it to people and getting their opinions, and sending it to the people who are making the sort of shows that you're interested in, the producers, the directors, contacting them. And again, it's about that luck. It's not about sending one email and going, oh, I didn't get a response. I'm rubbish. That's not it, is it? That's not. No, that's a lottery ticket. It's about sending the first one, and then the following month saying, since I wrote to you, I've done this, that, and the other. I've updated my clips. Really interested in your thoughts. Bang, send it off. Won't get anything. Keep going. You know what? After 6 months, after a year, they'll go, God, this person really is, keen and professional, and is not just a bit of a chancer. They're serious about this. They've been sending me without a reply for a year. They are serious. They're not a giver-upper. They're not a chancer. Who was it? Was it there was an agent or a producer that we were talking, I think it might have been on here. We were talking to somebody, and they said that they wouldn't actually even consider anybody from just the first letter. The first one, they always just go, right, okay, quite like them. Let's see what happens. And if you give up, they go, yeah, they weren't really interested. They weren't that interested, were they? Because they're a giver-upper. They sent a letter. That'll do. Go and watch Coronation Street now and my pizza. I'm obsessed with Coronation Street and pizzas. I don't even watch Coronation Street. I don't know why. But it's about that consistency. And then after the second one, if they like the presenter, they would then give them a call. So, yep, okay, let's have a look. What have you got? Come in, do a screen test for me. But again, this goes back to the stories that we play in our head, doesn't it? Where we say, oh, I've sent my stuff off and they didn't like it because they haven't responded. Or I put something up on YouTube and nobody commented. So nobody liked it. Oh, I'll give up. Well, do you know what? Unless you're really lucky, the first few videos you do put up there, probably not going to get that much interaction. You might get a bit, but not a lot, unless you've somehow got hundreds and thousands of subscribers already by not putting videos up. I don't know how you do that, but you're probably not going to get all that much interaction. So it really is. It's a test of how passionate, how much do you want it? How driven are you? Because, and this comes from Helen Shepherd, the BAFTA winning director. She always says the person who gets the job is driven. The person who gets the work will be doing this, will be giving up their weekends, their evenings. Everybody's, it's a beautiful day today, isn't it? And after this, everybody's off to the pub. All my friends going for a barbecue down by the river. Yay, super. Oh, there's a casting come in. I'll do that later. Okay, it's all right. I'm not knocking you, but I'm saying the person who gets the job probably won't be doing that. The person who gets the job would go, right, guys, I'm going to be an hour late. I've got to put together a video for a self-tape audition. I want to get it right, and I want to get it to the producers before they get bored of seeing tens and hundreds of videos coming in over the course of the next 3 days. I want to get mine in straight away and get them to see it. So I'm going to miss half of this afternoon. I'm going to miss the whole afternoon. Sorry, guys, but this is important. This is what I am all about. And that is again, this is where your luck comes into it. This is where you get luck. So sending that stuff off, getting it in front of the right people. Again, agents sometimes, I'm not going to go too much into agents, but actually look at the performers who are on the shows doing the stuff that you want to be doing and find out who represents them. If you find out who represents them, and a lot of them won't have representation, but if you do find out who represents them, you know that agent has the right contacts for you because they have got somebody else there already. So look for the agents of the people who are doing what you want to do, and start that process. LinkedIn is really, really a really good place to find contacts as well. I can't tell you, it is a business thing. It's not a Facebook, so do treat it as more sort of businessy. But you can find lots of producers, you can find lots of directors, casting agents, you can find jobs on there. If you haven't got a LinkedIn account, I'd get one. I really would. Even if you don't really put much on it, you can still find job postings and stuff. I think there's a couple of job postings up there at the moment. Anybody want to work in Malta as a game presenter? I think there's a casting for that if anyone's interested. I think they're looking for Dutch speaking presenters in Riga or something. You know, I don't know. Do you speak Dutch, Derek? Ja? Alles goed?
Let's take the crash course.
yeah. Get on the Linguaphone or whatever it is. What's that? Duolingo. Get on it, mate. You never know.
Google.
Yeah.
Google Translate.
Can you imagine if your presenter was on Google Translate? Funny. Okay, where are we up to? So then, of course, as I said before, we're just coming on to the third part of this, and I'm going to open it up to some questions. So the third part of today's webinar, we wanted to talk about getting regular work, and this is the bread and butter work. This is not your specialist area, which we've already spoken about. This is the bread and butter work. This is getting your corporate videos, getting your adverts, getting a bit of work on this, that, or the other that any presenter as such could probably do, who have got the right thing that the producer is looking for. They might be looking for a male, might be looking for a female, might be looking for a white person, a black person. They might be looking for a larger person, a thinner person. You know, this is where we have to then, when we're putting our marketing out on things like CVs, be aware that in this particular industry, unlike, say, accountancy, where we would never put build on a CV, right? You know, I would never put age range. Well, you might on a CV, but I wouldn't put my build or my ethnicity or the color of my hair or the color of my eyes. But actually, it's relevant for certain jobs in this industry. So we do. So we do put that on our CVs. We let people know what our accent is. What is your accent? Is it Brummie? Is it Newcastle? Is it Scottish? Is it RP, received pronunciation? That's just me. That's how it should sound. Ooh, get in trouble. Okay, we've got a couple of questions. I'll come to you very shortly, guys. And then it really is a matter of things like presenter promotions. It's things like Star Now, and it's things like Mandy.com. There's all those websites out there, which are the casting websites, which are just putting out bread and butter jobs, bread and butter, where you'll do a day, you might do 2 days, and that will be it. It literally is. It might be, oh yeah, here's an advert. We want you to dance around in your underpants. You know, or whatever. They come in. I've done all sorts of ridiculous castings for adverts. Right. So you're sat here and somebody jumps through the window. It's a big chicken and you've got to react to it. What? I mean, what sort of advert is this, for God's sake? But this is just bread and butter, and anybody who can perform and looks right for the part can get that job. You get your money. That's it. Job done. Okay, so that's your bread and butter work. Okay, let's go. Yeah, because it's 10-2. Okay, Tiju, how are you, Tiju? Let's take some questions. Unmute yourself, my love.
Hi, I think Gemma's answered it. I was asking, should you have different LinkedIn profiles for different things that you do? For example, coaching and training, TV presenting, non-executive director.
That is a good question. Yeah, because you don't necessarily want to have jack of all trades, you know, or Jack or Jill of all trades and specialist of none on your profile. You want to come across on, especially on LinkedIn, on the business one, as a professional. So yeah, there are people who would put up a couple of different profiles. This is where, as a performer, you might have a stage name as well, so that you've got Tiju the coach, and then you could have, I don't know what your stage name might be. It could be Tiju
Chosen is my stage name.
What is it?
Tiju Chosen is my stage name, but I also use it for coaching.
Beautiful. Yeah, have that. So then you'd build another profile, which is more your performance, your speaking, your expertise as a presenter. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's a good idea. So that you're not just got 16 different disciplines on your profile, and it's like, well, you're not really focused on any of them. You can't be. That might be what happens. But yeah. Super. Thanks, Tiju.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Okay, John, how you doing, buddy? What's your question?
Well, it's actually an observation. I mean, the interesting thing is I found that the momentum is carried by, I found myself with a lot of interesting experiences. Like, for example, this week, another thing I forgot to mention is I auditioned, I got an opening on Backstage to do some stuff for the Actors Channel. And they said to me, can you do a 30-second thing for this? So what I'm saying is my observations is the momentum that you get from networking and actually trying things out from having a brand is really, really good. And I think that's what I just wanted to offer. That there's a lot of interesting things that have emerged from this. And you never, like I say, you can speak to friends and stuff. And that's the great thing. It's so, it's working in a way that I think is really good. So I think the first point is, like I've done, is like you have a point of reference, like a point of a brand, and then you build from there, and that's the great thing. So I think everything you've said this one is good. So it was just an observation. That's all I want to say.
Thanks, John. Yeah, and on those links as well, there's lots of links and stuff like that in the new members area. Has anybody been into the new members area of the new website? Is anybody in there yet? Yeah. Okay, so start looking at it, start using it. I think you should have had a join up link at some point if you've been an original member. So you should have had in your email that you originally joined up a rejoin to the new website one. But there's loads of stuff in there. There's loads, like the Video Vault has got all the old webinars in there, so you can go back and find one with the presenter agent or whatever it is. And it'd be interesting just for you guys to give us a bit of feedback on what's working in there, because it is brand new. And if you could share it just sort of to friends and family and say, look, you know, if you're interested in presenting, have a look at this site. That would be super as well. Pop it on Facebook, share it. Anything like that would be appreciated. So yeah. Okay, so we have got like we have 6 or 7 minutes left. So any questions on anything that we've been talking about today? Now is your chance to ask myself, or just view a thought if you want, or tell us what you're going to have for lunch. Are you going for a barbecue? Are you going down the pub? Anything at all. Don't mind. Just give me a break for 5 minutes. Anyone got any questions for us? No. We've covered everything, haven't we? We've covered everything. That's what it is. I'm looking at the talk there. It seems people are more interested. Oh, hello. I'll come. Oh, yeah. I was just going to say, Andrea, I was looking at the chat here, and it seems people are more interested in me dancing around in my underpants than they are in asking questions about. Oh, I get it. I know what you're doing. Sorry, Andrea. What were you going to ask or say?
Yeah, just a quick technical one, really. I'm just trying to search the keywords. Have you got where do I find that? Have you got to have a Google account and be signed in? And is it a professional one? Is it a free thing that you can get, the keyword thing?
Yeah, it is. So if you've got a Google account, you can start an AdWords account. It will ask you for your credit card to start an AdWords account, but it only takes money from that credit card if you actually post adverts. But if you don't spend anything, it can't use it. It doesn't use it. And within Google AdWords, there is Keyword Planner. Now, there are other sites out there, and it's a bit of a minefield in as much as some of them want to charge you for the service, or some of them will give you sort of 5 and then blur out the rest of them and say, oh, become a premium member and we'll give you all of these. So there are other websites doing it, but it can be a bit tricky. If anybody does know of a really good Keyword Planner website, just post it for us. Because you know, but the free one and the best one is the Google AdWords. It's in the Google AdWords, which is part of your Google account. Yeah.
Great. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, there's another one. Yeah, Gemma's just put up Neil Patel at Ubersuggest. There's a lot of I think you might have to join, but I think that might be free, but he does ask for some details. But I think you can get at least a few freebies off that site. So have a little look at that in the comments bar now. Sasha, how you doing?
Hi. Oh. Thank you for the session.
You're welcome.
I've got a quick question regarding YouTube. That's probably my weakest platform. I'm not great with doing and editing videos and stuff. Do you have any recommendations for platforms or softwares to easily edit videos for YouTube?
Okay. So if you just want to have a really basic edit, well, when I mean basic, you just crop it either side so that you cut out the bit where you go press record and then do that. If you just want to crop it, top and tail it, I think you can actually do that on YouTube, the YouTube editor.
That stuff I can do, just basic, but I mean a little bit more.
Okay. So are you Apple or are you PC?
Apple.
Oh, okay. So Apple, I would go probably to iMovie. iMovie is the Apple one. If you've got an Apple Mac, like a laptop, it used to come free as part of the package.
Yeah, it does. I think I might have done show before.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean that's more than adequate for basic edits. You can put titles on, you can put transitions, you can do all your basic bits and pieces. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Cheers, no worries. Susan, how are you?
Hi, I'm okay, but I get stuck on the technology, and I was just going to say that there is a video editor I'm looking at the moment, a program called DaVinci Resolve 17. So I'm having a look at that, but it stops me. The technology is stopping me from doing anything. Every time I go to do something, I have to download these files, and then it says, oh, it's far too big to go through Dropbox or WeTransfer. So update your account and pay for it. And I just want to ask human beings, you know, quick questions sometimes. Should I put it through my Google Drive, or what do I do? Is that if I go on forums, I get lost for hours.
I know, I know exactly how you feel. So yeah, the free accounts on things like Dropbox and Google Drives and stuff, they are limited to the amount you can send or upload. How long are the videos that you're wanting to make?
Well, it's not just how long, it's how big, because sometimes with training, they send you material that you've got to download the night before, but it's over 500 megabytes or a gig, you know, and I just haven't got the space for that. And I don't want to be taking out premium accounts while I'm on a budget. And I need to be very careful about that.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. It really is. I mean, there is a solution if you have a YouTube account. You can upload your stuff to YouTube and then have it on either an unlisted setting. So when you put it up, they ask you loads of questions about, you know, where do you want it? Is it suitable for children? Is it this? Is it that? And it basically tick boxes. One of those tick boxes will be who do you want to be able to watch this? If you just put public, anybody can find it with a search. But if you put unlisted, then Google or YouTube will not suggest it will not list it when people are searching for that particular thing. So unless they've got the link that you send them, then it's unlikely. I don't think it's possible for them to actually look at it. There's another setting which is private, and I don't think anybody can look at that. But check it out. So you could put it up to YouTube and use that as a platform. Have you got a YouTube channel?
Yes, I've used it once.
So it might be worth getting your head around YouTube a bit, rather than trying to figure out how to reduce file sizes and upload and transfer with WeTransfers or Dropboxes and stuff like that. Although if you're just sending somebody a video, WeTransfer, the free WeTransfer does a couple of gig, doesn't it? I think it does.
Yeah, sometimes I need more than that. But it's just even just to download files or upload them for going on a video course, things like that. So I just need to hold them.
There should be no limit to what you can download apart from your own internet connection speed or limits. So you should be able to download whatever you want. But uploading to various websites, they may well have size issues. Yeah. So try YouTube. I think that's a good start.
That would be better just to pay the small premium and go for something.
And they get you, don't they? That's how they get you.
You know. Yeah. Okay. Thanks anyway.
Cheers. It's nice to see you. Okay, where are we up to? Anybody else got any thoughts, comments, queries, or would like to say anything before we wrap it up? I have to say, Rani, you're looking very cool today with those sunglasses on. Look at that, eh? There we go. Okay, so, Teju.
Brian,
hello.
Is it worth investing in Final Cut Pro?
It depends how often and how professional you want to go. I used to use Final Cut Pro. I used to be an Apple, and now I wouldn't go back because my PC and Premiere Pro is just so much easier to use and logical, and it makes so much sense. But it's personal preference. If you are going to you want to start making professional videos where having some sort of graphics, being able to chroma key, green screen really nicely, being able to have text effects, having all sorts of transitional effects or things like that, then yes, invest. But that you can get very, very professional with Final Cut Pro or Premiere Pro. It's I think mine cost me something like 20 quid a month or something. It's like a subscription thing now rather than buying the program, which it used to be. So subscribe every month, 20 quid. And it's really, really good. So it depends really on how good or how much time or how many videos you're going to be making, Tiju. How many are you doing?
Well, I'm not doing a lot at the moment, but in the future, I'm going to be doing my films. So I'm a screenwriter as well. So I'll be doing professional movies and that kind of thing in the future.
Oh, in that case,
So-
in the future, when you're ready, then definitely yes. Because what you're going to find is when you start making movies and you're doing the same scene, but from different angles, sometimes your white balance doesn't always get you the correct color grading for each angle. And so to make that scene look consistent, you will need to use the color correction process quite extensively, I'd imagine. Depending on, yeah. So when you come to make your films, yeah, definitely get it. And you might want to get it now, depending to start getting used to it, I would say. But yeah, lovely.
you.
Ronnie, hello, Ronnie.
Hello, sorry I had my glasses on. I just got in from Park Run, and my because I need glasses, these sunshades are what I wore out in the park, so that was the only way I could see you properly. So that's why I was.
That's
looking slightly
quite all right.
different.
Don't worry. I was only.
Thank you. It's lovely to see you, Brad. My question, please, is like, I know you say keep doing things and all the rest of it, and one of the reasons I come on the session with you is because you give a lot of confidence and you're very encouraging. But how do we keep going? You know, how do we keep finding motivation to impetus? You know, it's hard.
It is hard. Yeah, it is. It's really, I think, again, it's looking inside for that. Do you believe that what you have is of value inside? Do you think that your knowledge, your angle on stuff, your voice, your opinion has value? And look inside, and if the answer to that is yes, then that's where you'll find your motivation. It's not about, if you are looking for your motivation from a director that you admire, or a producer, or a friend, or a colleague, or a presenter that you admire or know, and you're waiting for them to say, oh yeah, you're really good, you should go on, and give you validation, then sooner or later that will dry up. Because we only really listen intensely to the negative comments anyway. The feedback that's negative and hurtful, those are the ones that we give all our focus to. The ones where people say, oh, that's really good, that, we like that, thank you, that's brilliant. Oh, you're so good at this, you're so good at that. Not to sound, too big-headed, but it's kind of, sometimes it's like, oh yeah, it goes over your head.
Yes.
And then somebody goes, actually, you're not, I don't like this, that, or this, and then we focus on those. So if you're constantly looking for external motivation, I think that's a bad mistake. I think you've got to look inside, and if you genuinely feel that your voice, your opinion, your ideas, what you have to offer has value, then that's your motivation. And it's not just your motivation, it's kind of your duty as a human being to give that out there, because otherwise you're deprived. If it is genuinely valuable stuff that your angles and your opinions, you're depriving the human race of it. How dare you? How dare you? You can't do that to the human race. Let us know. Let us in. Get it done.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you.
All right then, little bit of deep soul searching there just to finish off with. All right, listen, lovely to see you all, guys. And next week we'll be back. I don't know what we're doing. What are we doing next week, gents? I don't suppose we know yet. We'll let you know. Do you know? No, she doesn't. We don't know.
I'm waiting on confirmation of some guests. I'm so sorry. I've got really bad hay fever, so that's why I've been a bit quiet today. I'm all bunged up and my eyes are itchy. Just having a good old moan.
Oh dear. Oh. All right then. Well, listen, guys, stay safe. It's lovely to see you all, and we'll be back next week. Cheers, guys. Much love.
Thanks,
Bye.
Glenn.